We are number one, not just at selling stuff, but on trading in at selling protection products like warranty and insurance.
I think it's really important to understand how toxic that culture can be. It gets to that point where it starts to affect not just employees, but customers too. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks that way. And once you pull back that curtain, you start to notice all these patterns that emerge. And you start to think, something isn't right. And that's what I'm going to prove. Before we get into anything, I want to make something clear that I'm not making this documentary out of spite or revenge. It's purely just because what happened to me was unfair and was dealt with very unprofessionally. The support has been non-existent, and I just don't want other people to fall into this trap and how easily they get away with this. Everything that's flashy and shown on the outside never reflects what's on the inside. So let's go and prove it. Sunday the 16th. It was a freezing morning. I got in and everything seemed to be normal. And then about an hour into my shift, I got called into the manager's office. And I didn't really think anything of it. But that's when I got this. A termination letter. Seriously. Alright, but surely a company like Currys doesn't just fire people for no reason, right? Drinking a can of drink on the floor. Yeah, laptop's just over there somewhere. But what the hell? We have some concerns around your behaviours. Sitting on the back bench behind the tills. This was one day where I was so tired from talking to customers non-stop. They gave me a really late break as well. I needed like a 2-minute break. Checking if there is a queue. So what they do is they have the iPad and sometimes they'll allocate you to customers. And sometimes these customers would just come straight from the door and just ask for help. I can't just tell them to go away, can I? Part of the role is to offer customers things like care, credit, and attach. That's going to be the main reason. So really, they've just been nitpicking every single thing to try and get me gone. And also the fact that I was never told about this before. Something doesn't add up here, because this is just ridiculous. So I think we need to dig a bit deeper, because that cannot be the reason. This is the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7 laptop. At the time of recording, it currently costs £649. But here's what customers don't see. If we start off with the price of the unit, then subtract the manufacturer margin, which typically ranges around 80 to 85%, but benefit of the doubt will give them 80. Currys state they make a profit of 3%, meaning the other 17% goes on rent, electricity, and staff. So their real profit can't be from selling goods. So what do they sell? Well, I'm glad you asked. The pressure on this, I cannot even understate. We constantly had to hit 33% of people. That's 1 in every 3 people have to take this insurance. So if you have 3 customers who never purchase insurance come through the door, suddenly your strike rate is at 0. But let's say the exact same colleague had 3 customers who came through the door who always purchase insurance. You didn't change anything, but now your strike rate is suddenly 100%. See, this is flawed. Now it's not about helping everyone enjoy amazing technology. It's now who can sell the most insurance to the most people. And this brings up a lot of issues. In fact, I remember once when a colleague of mine declined a £3,000 transaction because they didn't attach this insurance. That's how meaningful it is to people. But not only that, I wanted to dig deeper, so I read through every single page on their terms and conditions, and oh my god, what did I find? Firstly, we need to understand the 2 types of warranty and insurance. Anything over £150 comes under care and repair, whereas anything under £150 comes under instant replacement. This is mainly sold on printers and other small electronics, and it promises infinite returns of your product if it malfunctions in its lifespan. This is one that you pay for outright, and it usually gives you about 3 years of cover. Whereas care and repair is mainly about fixing the product in 7 days, and apparently if they don't, they'll send you a new product or gift voucher equivalent, and this is usually for higher value items like laptops or cookers. So first of all, let's dig into care and repair. Let's take that laptop that we had earlier. According to Google, one of the main faults that goes wrong with this is the battery. However, that wouldn't actually be covered. In the tiny wording, they say this, but that's not all. This is your pretty bog standard printer that they're selling at the moment. If we look down, we see they're charging £20 extra, which promises 3 years of instant replacement. You're already paying 20% more for the product, so you think you're getting unlimited replacements on this product for 3 years for that extra 20%. Seems good, right? But that's a complete lie. If we look here, it says you can only get the stock replaced if it's in stock. Okay, so what if it's not? If they don't have it in stock, they'll refund the product and cancel your insurance. But if you've already paid for the 3 years, then you're not getting that back. You may not have even used this instant replacement, so you've just paid £20 for nothing. So what are you actually buying? This is so backwards. And just so this video isn't too long, I'm going to attach the rest of my findings in the description below, where you can find all of my summaries of their insurance schemes and how little they cover. But let's move on to the final section. For this section, I want to break it down into 3 main points: GDPR, support, and management. Now, if you've ever shopped at Currys, you may have sat down at the tills, which are just freely placed around the store. While I was working there, I spotted multiple situations where customer data was left exposed after a sale had been done. And we're talking names, emails, physical addresses, like actual data, stuff that customers don't want random strangers to see who walk by. So I flagged it to management, more than once actually, and you know what response I got? Nothing. They don't care, and the silence says it all. You know, I raised a real issue, an actual legal one, and nobody really acknowledged it. They kind of just delete the data and go on with it. So my advice to anyone is to make sure that your data is completely removed from these tills before you get up and walk away. This is quite a prevalent issue that I saw multiple times. And that leads me on to my next point. Getting fired in this way, just out of the blue, leaves you with loads of questions. Did I do something wrong? Did I annoy someone? Did something else put me on the chopping block? I'll never know. But there is just no support for any of this at all. Even as customers, if you're trying to purchase something and you have an issue with it, they always tell you to go online and go to store. I saw this a lot when I was working there. It's always just this passing of blame between people and just keeps customers in the air. And this is why customers are losing faith and staff are losing faith, because none of this support exists and it's all just robotic.
Hi, you're through to Currys.
Now finally, I just want to state that I wasn't just hiding in the back of the store. I was in the top 50 for sales colleagues nationwide. I was out here creating genuine customer experiences and doing it the right way. But it's more about the conflicts with upper management, and if they don't really like you, you're out. I'll never know why I was fired, but we can only assume. But the real human cost is a company throwing away its best people and then wondering why morale is low. And that's why public perception is also falling apart.
How was that customer service? Currys, sort the f***er out.
So that brings me on to my very final point. I think it's pretty easy. Start treating customers like customers, not numbers. Stores like John Lewis value customer service because that's how they make their money. They charge more, but they give you a better product and don't push these insurances. In fact, most come with a 5-year standard warranty as default. Second is to update the systems. The tills are prehistoric and Carphone Warehouse still uses the same system from 1990. This is a tech store in the 21st century. And third is just to simply treat employees like employees. Upper management need to really evaluate how they treat things in store. Constant nagging through the earpiece does eventually build up. It has the potential. I'm not here to criticize, I'm just here to give points for improvement based on what I've seen in my experience. So that's how the story goes. And just so that we can build a bigger picture, if you've ever worked at Currys or if you ever shopped there, feel free to leave your experiences down in the comment section below so we can build a bigger picture of what this is really about. But this is not to personally attack the company, it's just to give a voice to the people who don't have one and to stop big corporate companies from trying to take advantage of us. Because the more honest experiences that are shared, the clearer the full picture becomes. And the harder it is for big companies to find ways to wiggle their way out like they've done with me. I'm moved on, and I'm building better things. But this story matters, but now it finally has a place in the world. So, thank you for watching and being part of this journey, and feel free to comment your experiences below.